And our word for today on this Tuesday of the 6th week in Ordinary Time, this Tuesday, February the 13th, our word for today, remember. Remember our word for today. This comes from our gospel reading today, the Gospel of Mark chapter 8. The disciples had forgotten to bring bread, and they had only one loaf with them on the boat. Jesus enjoined them, "Watch out, guard against the leaven of the Pharisees and the leaven of Herod." They concluded among themselves that it was because they had no bread. When he became aware of this, he said to them, "Why do you conclude that it is because you have no bread? Do you not understand or comprehend? Are your hearts hardened? Do you have eyes and not see, ears and not hear? And do you not remember when I broke the 5 loaves for the 5,000, how many wicker baskets full of fragments you picked up?" They answered him, 12. "When I broke the 7 loaves for the 4,000, how many full baskets of fragments did you pick up?" They answered him, 7. He said to them, "Do you still not understand? Do you still not remember? And do you remember what I did?" he asked the apostles. "How do you not recollect? You're worried about not bringing bread? Don't you remember the multiplication of the loaves that I've done twice already in your presence? How could you be worried about such a trivial thing when you know I take care of the bigger things? Have you forgotten already?" And brothers and sisters, I have to say that it is easy for us to forget. And in not remembering and allowing ourselves to forget what God has done for us, the miraculous works God has wrought in our own lives, it's easy to look at someone else and forget who we used to be and judge a person who is in far higher standing than we were before we met the Lord. I am one of those very, very fortunate people that I was so low, it's very hard to forget where the Lord brought me from. And I think it's why there is some advantage in being someone who is so separated from the Lord that it is such a significant turn. When you turn to the Lord, it makes the remembrance of that thing very strong. And so it's an advantage for all of us to recollect, to remember what the Lord God has done for us. Our Holy Father shared some thoughts on today's gospel reading at Santa Marta on February the 18th, 2020. He had this to say about our gospel reading. When the heart hardens, one forgets the grace of salvation and of gratuitousness. A hardened heart leads to quarrels, to wars, to selfishness, and the destruction of the brother and sister because there is no compassion. The greatest message of salvation is that God has had compassion on us. The greatest message of salvation is that God has had compassion on us, on you, and on me. And when we understand the compassion that he has had on us, when we remember that thing, when we recollect that thing, the gift that has been given to us, it's very difficult for us not to share it with others. Bless the man whom you instruct, O Lord, whom by your law you teach, giving him rest from evil days. The Lord has given us rest from evil days. Let us recollect that. Let us remember that. And then let us go forth with this message and encourage others to take rest from their evil days as well. Remember our word for today.